let's get into this tier list, guys. Feel free to let me know what you think as we go along here. I'll start my way through the core first, I guess, and work our way all the way to the bottom here, to the Foundry. This might be a while, so bear with me. I'll try to go through this relatively quickly, but this might take a while. This is a lot of units to get through, so we're going to try to keep it moving and everything, but hope everybody's down to do this with me. Thanks, nice username, appreciate it. Hope you had a good stream as well. Pass some people around, pretty much, I'm sure. It's all good though. But yeah, feel free to let me know if you guys have any suggestions as to what you think about each unit and where you think they should be ranked and everything. I'm gonna, give you my opinion, but this is by no means a definitive tier list or anything. There's still a lot we don't know about each, unit interaction and everything. We haven't fully solved the game yet, so Kraken isn't number one. I can't support this. Oh boy. All right. Well, fortunately, Kraken is last on the list here, so you'll have to wait till the end to find out where I rank that. Should get back on, to be honest. It's so good. Oh man, if you're talking about battleaces, I've been loving it. So, but yeah, let's get started. Jump into this. First up, we got the Crab, and the Crab I think is a pretty good unit. To be honest, if I had to say, I think every unit or every core ground unit in the game is pretty well balanced. I feel like Crab, I feel, might be a little bit on the weaker side, but there's definitely some comps that it can work in that are really strong. And obviously, if you've seen some of the top players like Buanan, he is definitely one of the top Crab users and players in the game. He's insane with these crabs, so definitely recommend checking him out if you want to see some good Crab gameplay. But I like the Crab. It's a good all-around unit. It's a nice tanky unit to have, but it's nothing too special in my opinion, unless you're absolutely cracked at the game like Buanan. So yeah, I think I would put the Crab in B as well. And I might move things around as we go. We'll see where everything ends up, and I might move things around as we go. But yeah, we'll start with that. And next up, we have the Knight. And honestly, I'm not a big fan of the Knight by itself. If that's the only ground unit that you're really running, I'm not a big fan of it. But if you're pairing this up with another core matter-only ground unit, I think it can work really well. I guess I'll give another shout out here to Sojourn. If you guys ever check out Sojourn, he's very good with the Scorpion and Knight combo. He does this Scorpion Knight combo that works really well. So I like it in that case. But by itself, I kind of think it's kind of bad, actually, to be honest. So I'm kind of between C and B here for the Knight. It's closer to C, but then I don't know how to rank it, because when you pair it up with something, then it's almost an A if you pair it up with something good. So honestly, I'm not sure how to rank it. I guess I'll just go B for now, because it's almost an A with other units. Even pairing this up with something like the Hunter right now is really good. It's situationally, yeah, I think situationally it's pretty good. So I'll leave it at B for now, and we'll see as we go. Next up is the Scorpion, and I used to really love the Scorpion, but I've been struggling so much with it lately. I'm not sure the best way to use it anymore, other than, again, pairing it up with some other units like the Knight. I feel like you need to pair it up with a DPS unit to really do well with it. But other than a few people, I haven't seen too many people running the Scorpion and doing too well with it. So it's a solid tank unit if you can get it up there up front to tank for some of your DPS units, but it's difficult to use. So I would put this on the lower end of B again and close to C, especially if you're just running Scorpion by itself and don't have any good synergy with it. But it's definitely good once you have some DPS behind it. Bigger mid-late game battles, it's the best core unit in my opinion. I could see that. Yeah, I could see that for sure. And then, so we got the Gunbot next here. Gunbot is very solid. It's probably one of the hardest core units to use to micro and all that stuff. So I think the Gunbot can be very good if you know how to use it right. And so for myself, you know, I would have to put it at like a B for myself, but I'm going to kind of rank this based on what I've seen other people do with it, people who know how to use it and use it well. And I'm going to put it actually into A tier, even though I don't see the Gunbot too often. I know it's got a lot of potential, in my opinion. And so I think that it's pretty good. I'm kind of surprised myself to put it up in A, but I feel like from what I've seen, when I see it used well, it's very difficult to go up against. And this is also more so, I guess, in relation to the other core units. I could just put it at the top of B, maybe. I'm close to putting it into the top of B here, but we'll go with A for now and see how everything else pans out here. The blinks would definitely either be A or S. I have run into so many good blink players, and they are cracked. I struggle so much against the blink, especially if I'm going with a melee unit like the Scorpion Crab or anything like that. I struggle so much against the blink, and honestly, there's only a couple core units that I can really fight back against the blink. So I think for their potential, I'm going to put them pretty high, start them off in the S tier here. And we'll see again as we go, of course. But based on their potential, I think they have some of the highest potential as well if you are really good with the micro and everything. I would put it in A only because even the best struggle against the Wasp. That's fair, I think, maybe. Honestly, I haven't seen enough of that matchup to know for sure. You know, I was just going up against Rhyme with the Wasp, and he was doing pretty well with the blink up against me. So, you know, I think it's possible to make it work. Wasp is definitely very strong, though. So yeah, we'll see how that pans out here soon here. So Recall next. I'm very biased with the Recall. It's definitely my favorite core unit right now. I think it's just so easy to use and very good for how easy it is to use. So I really want to put this in S. And, you know, I think that's where I'll put it because of how all around good it is, I think, for everybody at every level of play. I think just about anybody could find success with the recalls, where I think you need to have a little more skill with most of these other units. So I think it's good for that reason. And I think it's got just really good stats. If you know how to play it right, you can take out blinks and pretty much any core unit you can really fight against if you know how to play it right. Yeah, and it casually denies every run by. And yeah, I definitely think it's the best core unit if you want to play a more defensive, reactive play style like I normally do. So that's why I think I got to give it S tier. But I think I would put Blink ahead of it just for the potential of the Blink. But we'll see here. And then we got the Wasp. And Wasp is very strong right now, especially since the Guardian Shield keeps getting nerfed. So I think the Wasp is extremely powerful right now. And I think I might put it up ahead of the Blink and Recall, actually. I think I would have to say Wasp might be the best core unit right now. And with the recent changes that they've made to Recall, to the nerf to Recalls, I think Recall dropped down a little bit. Otherwise, I would have said Recall is actually the best. But with the recent nerf to it, knocked it down just a tad bit there. And I think Wasp is the best now. So I think I'm pretty happy with that. The Wasp just gives you so much map control and can easily just like quickly end a game if your opponent makes one misstep early on, like the game's pretty much over. So it's crazy just for that alone. All right, and then first up for the tier 1 anti-air core units here, we got the Blink Hunter. And I've been very underwhelmed by the Blink Hunter. I tried it for the first couple of days, and it was honestly pretty terrible. I felt like you needed 10 of these guys to take out one air unit. It just has no DPS. Now, granted, it is getting a buff tomorrow, but honestly, I don't think it's going to be enough of a buff. So I think I'm actually going to be putting this into the D tier here. I just really do not like the Blink Hunter right now. I know it has the added bonus of extra mobility and all that, but just doesn't have the DPS for me. And I haven't seen hardly anybody use them actually either. So I think that's pretty fair. And next up, the Recall Hunter. And this will be interesting. This one I might have to move. It's definitely A or S for me. might have to move it around, but I think for now I will start it off in the S tier. I really like it because it has pretty good DPS. It's not the best, but it's just so good for that recall ability. Especially when you're pairing it up with the recall, it gives you that extra bit of DPS that you need to go up against some of the other matchups. But you know, regardless, it doesn't have to be paired up with the recall or anything like that. And I think it really does stand on its own as a strong tier 1 anti-air option. A lot of times your opponents are going to send a group or cluster of air units at the base and not really pay attention to their air unit. It could be a group of butterflies or locusts or something. And as long as you have enough recall hunters, you can just teleport them on top of their air units and immediately take them out before your opponent can react to it. So I think they're really strong for that alone. So I think I'll put them in the S tier for now. And then next we have the crossbow, and crossbow, I think I just gotta put that in the D tier right now. I think it's even worse than the blink right now. I suppose there might be some more specific niche uses for the crossbow over the blink. But I guess we're just like splitting hairs then at that point. So yeah, I'm not a big fan of the crossbow right now. I think it was getting another buff, but yeah, I think it needs a lot more. So I would recommend staying away from it for now, but if you can make it work, more power to you. And next up, we got the Hornet, which will be getting a little bit of a nerf tomorrow, but I think the Hornet's still going to be pretty good. Man, it's so hard to rank these against each other because I feel like they're all so good, actually. Hornet is extremely good, and you know, I guess it just depends on the type of deck you're running more. You know, I think if you're playing the more reactive playstyle like me, Recall Hunter is going to be better than the Hornet. But if you're playing that more aggressive style, then honestly, like you can't beat the Hornet. Like if you want to be aggressive, the Hornet's going to be the best one for it. So it's hard to rank that, but I think I'll give a slight edge to the Hornet just overall. It's just got such insane DPS, and the movement speed obviously is through the roof on it. So you just got to be a little careful because of how squishy it is. But other than that, you're good to go. Hunter is going to be getting a big nerf. But currently I would have to say the Hunter is like A tier right now. And then after the nerf, it's probably going to be like B or C tier, honestly. But right now the Hunter does a ton of damage versus ground units. And so it's a very good secondary unit to have. And if I was just ranking this in terms of its effectiveness against air, I would also rank this C for just effectiveness against air. So funny enough, it's an anti-air unit that's just better against ground. So right now I'll just give it A because it's like okay against air, but it's mostly just really good against ground. All right, and then we got the missile bot, and I haven't seen too much of the missile bot. I think the missile bot is just okay right now. I think it just does pretty well against most things. It'll do pretty well against air and pretty well against ground, but it's not going to necessarily save the day for you in every matchup or anything. So it's just kind of there. And I wish I knew what the exact DPS was on it with the overclock ability that it has. That would be good to know, but I'm not sure what that is off the top of my head. Anyways, last one here, we got the Beetle. And the Beetle keeps getting buffed. It's pretty interesting. And it's one of the better pure anti-air units just in terms of DPS. And so I'm not sure how to rank this one either, because I think the Hornet and Recall Hunter just do just as well for the most part, and have better mobility. And the Beetle's slow, but I think just for the DPS itself, I have to give it maybe an A. I might drop it down to B though. I'm kind of close to giving it a B, just because it lacks mobility. But if you use it correctly, it can even fight up against some of the tougher anti-air, the tougher air units. So don't completely sleep on the Beetle. Only tier 1 anti-air to counter Falcon. Yeah, pretty much. Kind of, well, yeah, so you can actually counter Falcon with Recall Hunter and Hornet as well, kind of, if you're playing correctly and if you have a little bit of advantage on your opponent. So that's the little caveat that I'll give there. But the beetle in like a heads up one-on-one fight type of thing, beetle's going to do much better. All right, and then we have the Guardian Shield. Guardian Shield, one of the new units, and well, this would be like S++ at the start of the beta, but Guardian Shield's been hit pretty hard here, and honestly, I'm not sure where the Guardian Shield lands now. I feel like it's okay. I've seen some people using it still and do fine with it, but it kind of limits you in what you can do. But it's a cool unit, I think, and I like having it around. I think I'll leave it at B for now, and I'm closer to putting it into C tier right now. And I think it's fine to stay there. I kind of like it where it's at, and hopefully it doesn't become too strong again. But yeah, I think it's a cool unit, and I'm glad it's there. So, and then first up for the Foundry here, we have the King Crab, and I haven't seen too much of the King Crab. I think the King Crab just gets a little too hard countered by the Destroyer right now. And so I think it struggles quite a bit against the Destroyer. And so I think I might actually have to put the King Crab into C tier. But there are some times where it can be good just because of how fast it is and how much DPS it has. So if you get like the right matchup with it, it can do some work. So I'm kind of between B and C here. I think I might put it into the C for now. And yeah, I think the King Crab just gets a little too hard countered by butterflies and destroyers right now. But the destroyer is getting a kind of like a nerf, but not really also. So that'll be very interesting to see how the King Crab does up against the new destroyer tomorrow. I like King Crab for run buys, but I don't think it's crazy powerful. Yeah, exactly. It can definitely be pretty good for run buys and maybe even for sniping a base or something, but I wouldn't really expect to win the game with it or anything. So, and then we got the Ballista here, the good old Ballista. I'm not sure if I actually want to put it into D. It's definitely not good. I think I'll put that in C as well. The DPS on Ballista actually isn't too bad or anything, but it's slow, and there's just other options in the same tier that are better. So it's very vanilla and basic, but it's not like terrible by any means. You could definitely pull off some wins still with it, but there's just better options. So got the Heavy Hunter now. Heavy Hunter is a very good, solid anti-air unit. It can't really be used for much more than that. It's not very good against much else, but it is very good against the air units. And so for now, I think I got to put it in the A tier. It can struggle a little bit against some of the more beefy air units or some of the faster air units that it can't quite keep up with, but you just kind of have to position better with it. So again, the potential for the Heavy Hunter is pretty high. It should, in theory, be able to counter most, if not all, air units as long as you play it effectively, position it correctly, and can micro it well enough. But it is pretty difficult to do that, actually, at least for me. So I think A tier is pretty good for it, though. Then the Recall Hunter here, or sorry, Recall Shocker. Recall Shocker, I think, is pretty good. The movement speed on it is pretty tough to work with, but I think it just works really well as a static defense for your bases, kind of. Obviously, you can teleport it around. So I think it's really good for that. And I think I'm tempted to put it into the A tier as well, but I think I might start this one off in the B tier. It's just good for the most part as a defensive option, but I wouldn't really want to have this in every deck, but situationally in the right decks, it's pretty good. So I think B tier is fair for that. Next up is the Crusader here. Crusader, I think, can be pretty strong, but I haven't seen too many people use it, honestly. I haven't used it too much myself yet either. So I think I'll just put Crusader in B tier. Again, it gets pretty hard countered by the Destroyer and the Butterflies, which are pretty common right now. So I'm not a big fan of the Crusader, but it can at least tank a shot from the Destroyer. So I think there might be some niche uses for it. I'm tempted to drop it down to the C tier actually, but I think that's fine for now. Shocker. Shocker is a tough one. I feel like I could almost put it into A tier, but I haven't seen too many people make it work yet. So I think I'm also going to put this in B tier, a little bit ahead of the Crusader. And the Shocker, again, I think it's just a little too slow, but it does have good damage on it. And if you get enough of these together, it's going to do pretty well, I think. But you just have to make sure you play around its movement speed. The Destroyer here. Yeah, so the Destroyer is very strong right now. It's going to be very interesting to see where the Destroyer falls after the change that's going to be made tomorrow. And honestly, it might not change at all. But right now, I think I would have to say Destroyer is S tier for sure. And it might continue to stay S tier. That'll be very interesting. But I could see it dropping down to like A tier because it is technically a slight DPS nerf to the Destroyer. And it's not going to have that burst capability to take out some of the heavy units. So, and I think the King Crab Destroyer matchup is going to be very interesting tomorrow as well. So we'll have to wait and see how that plays out. But yeah, other than that, like it's just always good. It's insane. And then the Bomber here. We got the Bomber, and I think the Bomber is really good right now as well. I almost want to put it into S tier, but I think I'll put it into the A tier right now. I haven't seen too many people use it, but the people who do use it are usually really good. And they usually do really well. They can destroy your entire army very quickly, or just get your entire worker line very quickly as well. So it's a bit of a pain in the butt going up against the Bombers. They are crazy, and I hope they don't get any more buffs because I think they're in a decent spot right now. And if they get more buffs, then I'm in trouble. So Bomber's a pretty fun unit to use, though I think. And then we have the artillery here, or not artillery, sorry, the turret here. And the turret got a little bit of a buff recently as well. And I think the turret is pretty good also, actually. I think I got to put it slightly below the recall shocker because the recall shocker can kind of do the same thing as the turret, but the recall shocker can move and teleport around. So, but I think the turret is really good for what it's supposed to do as just that protector for your bases. And I think I've used it a couple times and done pretty well with it for the most part. So I think I like the turret. Then we have the Swift Shocker, which is getting a little bit of a buff, and hopefully that buff helps it out a lot. Because right now, I would have to say it's probably either bottom of B or top of C. I just haven't seen it get used too effectively, too well, very often or anything. So it's similar to the King Crab in that it can, be used on flanks and for worker run-bys and whatnot. But I would just prefer to have a King Crab, actually, I think, to the Swift Shocker. Because at least the King Crab has a chance to take out a base where Swift Shocker can't really do that. So I guess Swift Shocker might be good in some other situations too, but yeah, I think I'll leave that in C tier. We got the Mortar now, and Mortar got a little bit of a nerf, a little less HP. And I think I got to put it in the S tier. I'm not 100% sure about it because I haven't played up against the Mortar quite enough yet. Actually. So I always struggle with the Mortar, even with the nerf, though. So I think I got to put it into the S tier for that alone. Just how much it seems like everybody struggles with it. So, but I did try using the Mortar and the Advanced Mortar, and I found they're actually, a bit harder to use than I thought they were. I thought they were just kind of a easy peasy type of unit and just like a free win almost. And gave it a try, and it was actually a bit harder than I thought it would be. So, yeah, Mortar, pretty darn good. Pretty darn good. Just got too much range, too much DPS.